Hello everybody, my name is Farisha Ishak, and firstly I would like to start off by thanking VJC for inviting me back here today. You know, when I first got the email, right, to invite me, I was very surprised and I didn't expect it at all. But I'm very, very honored to be invited here today. And I have to be honest, I'm quite nervous actually. Do I look it? I think I kind of look it. Yeah, anyway, so I'm really nervous, but you know, that's because I spent the past recent weeks looking up TED videos, and I came across like science professors talking about scientific theories and like, you know, all that stuff. And I'm an art student, so anyway, but I also came across ordinary people who have achieved certain things that they never thought was possible. And these people, they share their stories and they hope to inspire other people as well. Now, I stand here today in front of all of you as the latter. My name is Farisha Ishak, and I was a student from VJC. In 2013, after I graduated, I joined a singing competition called The Final One. And upon winning the competition, I signed a recording contract and I put my studies on hold, but I've never regretted making that decision ever since. So since then, I've come up with an album, my debut album, and I've been blessed to have the opportunity to perform on the national stage for events like National Day Parade and Singapore Day. So in short, I'm someone who chose to pursue my passion and at the extent of certain sacrifices that I've made, but I've never looked back since. So to me, passion is doing something that you love and following your heart, and what defines success for me is that you're happy doing it. So that's me as a child. This is my story. That's me as a child, and music has been constantly a great influence in my life. And I grew up with many different interests. Although music was always there, I tried to do gymnastics and, you know, try my hand at dancing, and even did some sports in netball in primary school. So after that, I joined choir in secondary school, and that was when I felt my love for music grew in secondary school. And Mrs. Angela Go, she was my choir conductor. She played a really big part in inspiring me and my love for music. So I'm really thankful to have spent 4 years in choir. And yeah, the experience was invaluable to me. So during choir, I actually took some time off to audition for Child Aid with a group of my choir friends in 2009. We formed an a cappella group and we got to perform at Resort World Sentosa in the Grand Theatre, and that was in front of thousands of people. So that was my first time performing in front of so many people, so you can imagine how nerve-wracking it was. But you know, I felt that it was a great opportunity for me to build up my confidence on stage, which was why I joined again in 2010 as a soloist. So then in 2010, I actually performed with 2 other girls, and I had to sing Beyonce, you know, Single Ladies? Yeah, I had to do that in heels, guys. So it was no easy feat. And you know, if you haven't heard of Child Aid, it's actually a fundraising concert, and it aims to assist the underprivileged children in our society. So that was when I realized that music, it's not just about lyrics or melody or, you know, singing, it's about spreading awareness, and it can be used as a tool to help as well. So after secondary school, I went to VJ, and I wanted to do something completely different from music, so I joined football. And I worked very hard at it to get into the team. So I would say that I was very passionate about football because I'm a football fan, and I've been a football fan, oh see, I saw you turn your head, I'm a football fan, so I've been a football fan for like 9 years now. So I support Chelsea Football Club, so that's why it was sort of natural for me to pick up football. So, and that's what I mean, although I was constantly surrounded by music and I was very passionate about music, I was also passionate about football at the same time. So I don't believe in limiting yourself to having only one passion. So that's why, despite being more involved in football, I was still involved in music. And that's why I joined Music Fest in 2011. I came out third, and you know, I'm really thankful for the opportunity because it was during Music Fest when I realized the importance of stage presence and connecting the audience. So this was how my finals went for Music Fest. I just stood there with a mic stand, and it was just a spotlight on me, and I just sang. I didn't even think about looking at the audience or anything because I was just I was really nervous. It was my first time performing to so many people. So that was when I realized the importance of connecting with the audience and that music should essentially be shared. Because I used to think that I would just sing for myself, right? But this time when you're performing for others as well. So in JC, like all of you here today, I was pressured to find a passion for a career. Do you guys remember the many career talks that they would say, find your passion, follow that passion, and pick that career? So in JC, I was really passionate about music. But the practical side of me believed that, maybe I shouldn't consider it as a career option. And, looking back at it now, I felt that I used being practical as an excuse for a lot of things. And I realized that it made me miss out on a lot of things in life as well. I know that I would say that our society is naturally a practical one. How many times have you heard people say, follow your head, not your heart, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? It's better to be, you don't want to fall through. But, although I think that there's nothing wrong with being practical, I think what's important is that you should find the balance and that you should know what you want. Because in the end, you are the one who's deciding, not anyone else. So when I was in school, I was frustrated because I didn't know what career path I wanted to take. But thank goodness, in J2, I decided to take H3 history, and I did a research paper on American foreign policy on the Armenian genocide. So I spent a lot of time researching on that topic, and I realized that I was passionate about that because I would go beyond the perimeters of that topic to find out about the foreign policies of other countries as well. So then I was telling myself, okay, you said, right, you really like this, you have really strong interest in this field. So you're going to go to university, you're going to go take political science, and you're going to find a stable career that you can excel in. So I was all fired up to start university and everything, until, sorry, I had to be dramatic with the event that changed my life, right? So the final one came about, and prior to the final one, I only sang to make myself happy. I didn't sing to really impress others or to compare myself with others, right? And so that's why I felt like I really threw myself into the deep end with this one. Because suddenly you're on that stage, right? And then you are singing to the whole of Singapore to judge you. And you're singing to be judged by established personalities in the music industry. So of course it was a daunting idea. And to add to that, I was competing against some really, really talented people. These people, they sing as a profession, or they've entered so many singing competitions prior to the final one. So I had to be competing against these people. So of course it was very nerve-wracking to me. But okay, sorry, did you? Okay, right. So during the final one, when I first joined the competition, I joined because I wanted to see how far I could go. And I realize now that during the top 20, when things started getting serious, I realized that I was in it for the wrong reasons. Because by saying that, I'm joining it because I want to see how far I can go, it's like I'm allowing other factors to sort of determine my progress in the competition. I don't have enough belief in myself to say that, yeah, I'm in it to win it, right? So looking back, I had to deal with the issue of the lack of self-confidence during the competition. And it was only during the later period where I decided that, I'm serious about this and I'm in it to win it. So going back to the issue of self-confidence, I feel that it was very important for me because I let things affect me too easily. Like, for example, when I'm on stage, I'm too aware of how I look or how I sound or what other people would say. So I guess Final One was a great experience for me because it allowed me to tackle that issue of self-confidence. So I realized that it stems from the need for validation. And I guess, many of us, when we have a passion, we feel like we need validation for it. Like say, okay, I have this talent, you're gonna find a passion, and then you say, okay, I have a talent, and perhaps I'm competent. But how are you gonna know if you're competent in that, in that talent? So then you would have to sort of seek the opinion of another person to indicate on whether, is this passion worth pursuing, So I guess I was like that, and looking back at it now, that was an issue that stunted my progress in the final one. And I realized that, for this whole need of validation when you're finding your passion, it's not really, you shouldn't seek it from other people, but you should actually seek it from yourself. And that's where You should be confident of what you can do and your abilities. And there will be people who quote you and say, you can't do it, you're not good enough. But so what if they say that, Your abilities are not set in stone. It's not that you can't do anything about it. And that's what I learned during the competition, that the words of others or what they say about you, it doesn't necessarily define your worth and your competence, and it definitely should not affect the path that you choose to take. So during the competition, I also recognized constructive criticism from negative comments that I got as well. Because there were sometimes downright mean comments said about me by the public or anyone. So I guess I had to learn to get over that and to recognize the constructive criticism that I could use for myself to help me grow. So sometimes, to keep myself in check during the competition, I would, before I actually go on stage, right, I would actually have a moment to myself, and I'll think about many things, like basically why I was there in the first place. And I think for many of us, we need to constantly ask ourselves this when we're pursuing something. We have to constantly ask ourselves, why are we there? Why are we doing this, right? So for me, before I went out on stage, I thought about why I was doing this, and I imagined myself standing on that stage, facing the audience, and thinking about, how they will react. The smiles, the little finger taps, or the little head bobs, all those signs to show me that, they're enjoying my performance and they're happy. And I like making people happy, don't you? Right? So, yeah, so another issue that I had to deal with was, when I was singing, I tend to hold back a lot for my performances. And that was always an issue for me. Because the production crew or the judges, they would tell me, you should just let go. Just be on stage and just let go. Just sing your heart out. But I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. Until this one night, for the top 3 performance night, I sang I Look to You by Whitney Houston. I don't know what came over me, but I just decided to, you know what, Farisha? Tonight, you're going to just let go of all your inhibitions and sing your heart out. And so I did. And I would say that was one of the best performances I did on the top 3 performance night. So I did that again during the finals, and let me tell you, the feeling of letting go was amazing. I was overwhelmed by my own performance. I got goosebumps, So it's amazing because when you let go, you feel so confident, and you don't care about anything else. So after that, I decided that I'll strive to feel that way again for every single one of my performances. And then at 19, it finally hit me that music had been my passion all along. And it took a while. It took 19 years, to be exact, for me to find my passion, right? But I've never looked back since. And you see, during the lead up to the finals, I had to prepare stuff for school. So I had to go back to NUS and get my matriculation card, and because I was already set on going to school as well. But after I won the competition, I won the recording contract, and I sat down with management, and then we all decided that I was going to put school on hold. So then, many who have heard my story, they would say that, oh, you're just putting school on hold. It's not like you're quitting school completely. But they don't know that school means a lot to me. Education means a lot to me. I grew up, and education was a big part of my life. University was the place that I wanted to go to, and a degree was my endpoint. That was my dream. But despite that, I still chose to take this path and pursue music because I wanted to fully focus on music. And it's not like when I start school, I'll be giving it up or anything. I feel that even though I start school, I'm glad that I've established sort of a foundation in music, and I'll be doing music at the same time. So, when I first started my career, I released my debut bilingual album, and I self-penned three tracks. And it's kind of surreal to go up to someone and be like, hey, you can find my album on iTunes. It's pretty surreal. I still have to think about it before I say that. But then again, despite everything that I've achieved, and I'm really thankful for all of it, I still feel that what defines success for me is true happiness. And I feel that when you're pursuing a passion, it's it's something that for me, I don't have a destination in sight. And what I mean by that is that because the process of pursuing that passion, it gives me so much joy and happiness that I feel like, what else, if this doesn't define success, what does? For me at least. And so that's why I believe that when you do what you love, happiness just comes naturally. So at the album launch, leading up to the album launch, I was pretty nervous about it because it would be my first time facing the press after the competition. So that was when I would announce that I would put studies on hold. And in other words, I would take the road less traveled, right? So of course, what other people said about it bugged me because people would be like, oh, she's not serious about her education, or oh, she's so fickle about this. But then I'm thinking like, they don't know me at all. They don't know how serious I am about my music or about my education. In fact, taking a break from school and fully focusing on my music was the most sure thing I've done in my life. And so that's why I feel that when you've chosen your path, when you've chosen that that's your passion, that you have to have enough confidence in yourself and your passion to follow it through. And that's what I'm doing now, and I'm very happy that I'm doing it now. So, others can just criticize you or put you down or demoralize you or even advise you on stuff. But what's important is that you are the one who's pursuing the passion, not them, right? So what they say, they can say a lot of things about you, but you are the one who has to live with the consequences, the trials, the tribulations, the happiness, and the success. So being in the industry, I've been surrounded by like-minded people and people who are all pursuing the same passion, but in their own way. And, I feel that, a healthy competition is good, but you shouldn't let it get to a point where you have to you're comparing yourself to other people. And it's very easy, especially if you're in a place where you have a lot of people who are doing the same thing, right? But I think that you should never come to a point where you shed your own skin to seem more appealing or more acceptable to other people. And that's why I feel that your downfall is when you lose sight of who you are. And I'm still trying to find who I am, but I'm set on not wanting to conform to what anybody else thinks of me. And someone actually came to me one day and said, if you don't have that self-belief, how can you expect others to believe in you? And I feel that this is very relevant to me, especially because of my career. I'm making music. And I have to make music that I believe in for people to believe in them, right? So that's why I feel that, I use these musical influences to inspire me, and I hope that I could inspire other people with my music, just like how my musical influences inspired me. So where do I go from here? Currently, I've been writing my own music, and I really do hope to make music that's believable and that can speak to people. When you listen to a song, and then you think about, yeah, I really feel sad when I listen to this song, or like, yeah, I know what this person is talking about. Do you guys get that? Right? Yeah, so I wanna do that with my music. I hope to write music to speak to people and have you relate to them. So I've been working hard at, honing my craft in songwriting, and I'm even learning the guitar now on my own, with YouTube, of course. So, yeah, and I just want to make myself a better artist and a better person. And, before I end off, I'd like to say a special thanks to the most important people in my life. I mean, they've been there since the very beginning, supporting me throughout. And my mom, who's here today, thanks, Mom, for coming. I'm very happy that she's here. She's been my rock, and she's my inspiration every day. And I can't be any more thankful for having you around. Thank you. Now, before I end off, I'd like to show you a short video that a dear friend of mine did of my time being the final one. Hold on, can I just say something first? Okay. Okay, so I just have one last thing to say. Life is tough. Life is tough, whichever route you choose to take, right? It's not going to be an easy one. And for me, I would say that it hasn't been an easy one for me, chasing my passion. But every day I wake up and I think that, I strongly believe in this. I strongly believe in myself and what I'm doing. And so that's the thing that really pushes me to keep doing this. Because these little moments of happiness that you get, like on stage when I'm performing and I see someone smile at me, and it just gives me this really happy feeling that I've gotten through, or that I've made it, And so I think that if you have that passion, you should chase it, because I'm still chasing mine, and I'm having a ball of the time. So it's definitely worth it. Thank you.